Okay, welcome back, everybody. And when I mean everybody, I mean the few who listen right now. And the few who listen, I just want you to know, I know your Wednesday was not the same without having a new episode air or drop. But I record in the building I live in, and there was construction. So, with that being said, I did not record, and then I was busy. And so today is the day that we're recording. Um, but it's been crazy. This last week has been busy with work, but also with what was the last thing I did? What was the last thing did I do with the mics? I mean, everything from, Netflix is a joke week, constantly any big show that there's been going on throughout the city. The after parties have been at the Comedy Store, so I've been hanging out there. Everybody's been hanging out, showing up. It's packed. It's hilarious how packed it is. Like, it's now to the point where even comics are kind of like looking forward to the week being over. Like, it's fun and all. It's quite the experience to be a part of. But it's like, I mean, it's just so packed. It is packed. Like, till almost 2 in the morning. Just packed. People, humans, everybody there. And it's cool to go, like, hang out with, other comics and hang out with them. But then you see, like, a lot of different bystanders who show up and hang out. And it's to the point where it's just like, okay, the show's over. There's no more show going on. Both rooms are already done. Comics are already left, the big names. And then there's just still probably like 80 people still hanging out. It's like, what are you waiting for? Something amazing to happen? Like, what is this? But, it's very much FOMO. I get it. I'm just as much to blame for it as anybody else. This last week, did a mic, did 2 mics, and mic. And it was nice. It was humbling. It was definitely that experience that I talk about oh so well about trying things out and the rooms not being as supportive, and their eyes not paying attention. It's fun to look out to the audience and see like 90% of the people on their phones not paying attention. But with that, I also realize my energy, I very much copy the people before me. And if the people before me don't bring the energy, I bring it down. And even with like my sarcastic tone, being energized is definitely where my sweet spot is. But if it's not, there's no energy beforehand, I'm definitely not at that level to bring the energy. Which I should be able to. I can do that in my normal life. But definitely just I'll keep that sarcasm tone, but with low energy, and then that just it doesn't sell it as well. But it's cool to like take that. It's definitely a humble factor of learning to be like, okay, yep, I had a great time on stage a few weeks past. Now this, and oh yeah, okay, cool. This is what it feels like. This is a wake up again, and even then though, there was moments I did have laughs. There was even again, it was little chuckles, and that I know would be like, okay, cool, that'll probably do great in front of a real audience. But even then, been working a lot, so it's been a lot of working, and then hanging out and networking, and then writing, constant writing. I have a lot of jokes to work on, some ideas to play around with. But mostly this last week has been just exhaustion of going to work and then going to the Comedy Store, hanging out, and I mean, going from like not having social interaction for years to now social interaction, and now it's like straight up like it's crazy. The other night I'm like, what? Remember when COVID was a thing? There are so many people in a small area. You're just like, this is crazy. Like, this is a lot of people. A lot of people coming around, And now even with this weekend with Kill Tony in town, the entire crew for that is in town as well, which is cool. Got to hang out with and meet a lot of those guys. And just seeing how, they're living their best life, which is awesome. As far as, this week, it's almost over. Netflix joke's almost over. I look forward to next week to finally just be able to go, do mics, but then also hang out, watch some comedy, show up later in the night and be able to just sit there and watch some end of the night comedy and it not be a zoo, but knowing that this will pass, it's just for this last 10 days. And then also not being so again, we talk about this and, not being so hard on oneself, again, and knowing that, this week went by and I did the mic last week, but I didn't do anyone this week. And I was going to do 2, and then it just, every time I went to go sign up or go do it, it was not enough people even signed up, so it's not even worth it. So then just still try not to be so hard on yourself, very much getting annoyed by being oh, I'm not doing this, or I don't feel productive. So I have been not forcing myself, and I don't think that's the right words to use, not forcing, but motivating myself enough to at least write for that. And then again, when I'm in a position to, to network and hang out, definitely going out of my comfort zone. It's getting easier and easier, but to talk with people, introduce myself, meeting people. But it is funny, a lot of these people, if it wasn't for the certain comics introducing me as a comic, none of these people would even know if I was funny or not. None of it, they just take words for it. No one's ever actually seen me perform. So that is funny to think, but again, trying to be in that position of wanting to be in the moment when the moment makes it, they have, especially they'll have potluck and stuff like that on Monday nights. And I definitely, I don't feel comfortable enough yet to fully do the potluck because I think you get 3 minutes. I'm sure I could. I think I'm probably overthinking it. Even when I think about what I would talk about, just overthinking it. But still in that sense of the confidence to do it enough to show up, because I now am knowing enough people that I feel probably that whoever's hosting would perhaps, there's small enough chance that they would put me up on stage if I were to show up. And just even that small amount of chance, for the confidence that I have right now, is not enough for me to show up and take that risk. Because it is one where once you do get that shot, and if you do blow it, it kind of is the brakes get pulled, and it's getting that momentum back is a little bit harder. So I'm definitely still just in that moment of building the connections, planting the seeds, making, friends and acquaintances, and then also learning and just seeing how everything is done, see how people interact, and really just honing in and treating it like I'm going to school for it in a sense. Or even a job. It's another job, I do. It's I go to work and I go there, hang out there for a few hours, every day of the week. And it is. It's networking is a job. They should teach you that in school. And I look forward to what's to come. It does get kind of get, what's the word for it? It gets, I don't know the word. You as far as it hurts my hopes. Again, I'm bad with words right now. But for the idea of just knowing that I see how all these comics are started, and they're way younger, and they're finally getting their feet in, and it's, I can't take back and get on stage more than I already am. But just seeing what the next level is, like, I'm grateful that I have my regular job so that I can afford to not make money doing it. And it also helps because then I'm not. Some people are like, "Oh, I'm all in. This is my only backup plan," but I have no backup plan. And then they go full on, but then they're dying and they need money and they can't, and then it almost becomes like I have to be funny, to survive. And I feel like that sometimes takes away from the creative process, which then takes away sometimes from being funny. That could be my opinion, or at least for me. Because now with me having the money, yes, I'm annoyed that I still have to go to a day job, but I'm also grateful I have to go to a day job. And knowing that I don't have to worry as much about funds, so then I can just go on stage and let it free and be like, okay, this works, let's have fun with it. Let me, rather than it's a dire need for it. But I do like the idea of having it still, the fire be lit for progress. That goes back to even with me and goal setting and stuff. You could say you're going to do something forever and then never do it. So it definitely is that constantly reassessing. Okay, what did I do this week? What did I do? Okay, I've been doing the same thing for the last month. Where is there progress? Is there this? Where can I see the progress? Not being so hard on oneself, and being able to really nitpick on the little things, the little wins. And that's, I've mentioned before, and it's really what keeps it going, because I could easily be like, I've only done this many mics, or, I have friends who are all in this. I was like, yeah, well, they put in the work too for a while longer than you have. Okay, but wait, I got to catch up. Okay, I only so much time. Okay, but what did you do this week? Okay, you networked. Oh, a few more people you've met. People actually are now knowing your name. They now recognize you. They now follow you on social. Like those little wins are what kind of keeps going. Still having the mindset of jokes, still having like that, because there was moments where I did lose it, to where I wouldn't write things down. And now it's just constantly cool, especially in the shower on the drive, and I'm able to write down in my notes and then really go through it and beat it out and figure out exactly how to flesh everything out with all the meat off of it, so that you can be like, okay, cool, this is good. I'm realizing a lot of my stuff still is I have the premises, I have the story arc and the joke, but having a button to it, like having that final haha at the end, is what I'm working on and trying to figure out, instead of it just being like, cool, there's that laugh, now transition to this new, I want it to like flow while still having like a big ending for each main joke. And yeah, I'm just in that process, that mindset right now. What else? What are we doing? Yeah, I mean, I looking forward to this weekend. It's always nice. Was able to talk with some other comics who were like very much, starting into the game, brand new, and I was able to help them kind of explain my journey. And then there's other comics who have done it before, but maybe have fallen off and, coming back and realizing they got opportunity, and they actually already had planted the seeds, and now they're really figuring it out. And they're like, oh, sweet, all I have to do is just kind of like water my garden of knowledge and connections. And it's cool to see that everybody's different journeys. And again, just the welcomeness of people, the connection of people, and how, I mean, like anything, you're going to have people who talk shit and all that, but for the most part, it's like, it's still like a community of delinquents who just want to make people laugh, who are not perfect themselves, but just enjoy making people laugh. and almost using it as therapy. It was cool to see who was there. Post Malone was there this last weekend a few times. He's coming in after each one of the shows he was at. He'd come in and hang out, and then, which he's a very nice guy, very, very like, I use humble a lot, but very approachable too, which is really cool to see. Like, he's a very down to earth, nice guy, and I know friends who are like good friends with him even, and so just to know that, it's pretty cool. This is now first week, second week of May. I just, I'm excited to see where the next few months goes. I'm eager to get more stage time, and it still scares the crap out of me. Stage time scares the crap out of me, which is why I think I like it. It's the same thing why I do jiu-jitsu. You're constantly growing. You're constantly learning. There's no, really peak. Even when people get their black belts, it's like, oh, are you done now? It's like, no, you just keep going. There's always something more to learn, or you adapt to, your body at that point. You get old. We all get older, and then you adapt, and then you kind of become a black belt in this new style. Same with comedy. You're constantly growing. Even when you say something, they might know you a certain way, but then your style might change over the time, and your audience might change, or you'll still keep the same audience, but you grow new audiences because your perspective changes and your way is going, and you're constantly going how can I adapt this? Can I say this here? If I say this line here before this line, is it funnier than if I flip it? And that's just where it is. You're just constantly trying it out and seeing, okay, that landed better. Is it because of how I said it? Is it because the words I use? Is it because because of how engaged I was? How was I high energy, low energy? What's connecting it? What's making the audience feel like they are part of something? It's in that sense of that whole magic trick. You are a magic show that you are watching on stage. You know that the trick's coming. You know that it's going to be I say this, but I meant this. You know that you are meant to laugh, just like in a magic show. You know that this is over here, but I'm doing the trick over here, and you know that something amazing is about to happen. Even though every time you go, oh my gosh, oh yeah, he's going to guess my card. He's going to guess my card, duh, because it's been that way since the beginning of magic shows. Everybody knows that, but every time it happens, you're like, what? How did you do that? It was the four of clubs. It was the four of clubs. It's the same thing with comedy. It's being able to take people on this journey, this magic show of laughter, to make them feel like they are in the moment for the first time, you telling them this. And that's what I love the most about watching some of these comics, especially in these later nights with audiences very small, sometimes even drunk, say the same jokes every single night. It's their set, but it's to a new audience. Only a few of us know it's their whole routine, but seeing how they do it, and they keep the same energy. They keep the same, it's like they're telling it to 100 people or they're telling it to 8 people. Sometimes it varies. Sometimes they go off and make it their own, depending on how small the audience is. But for the most part, it's great seeing how they keep it there. They keep that same energy and the same thing. You do a magic trick. It's like, pick a card, any card, cool. If there's 2 people or 100 people in the audience, pick a card, any card, boom, magic. Da-da, ta-da. And that's what's so fun about it, which is funny. I did want to, I liked magic as a kid. So it makes sense that I also like to make people laugh and I like comedy. That is pretty cool, actually, to think. So yeah, I think I'll leave you guys on that. This next week, we'll see. Hopefully I'm back on schedule with the episode. Maybe not a lot will have happened since it's been a short amount of time. But yeah, thank you guys. Please share, subscribe, everything. Comment. Let me know you even watch this. That'd be awesome to know. I want to know who watches it. And yeah, until next time. Peace.